Long ago, there lived a king with a magnificent palace, taller and more beautiful than any other in the world. Yet despite all his riches, the king paid little attention to beauty itself until one voice changed everything. Long ago, there lived a king whose palace was one of the most splendid in the world. Golden halls, high towers, and shining gates surrounded his home. Near the palace lay a vast garden filled with the most beautiful flowers ever seen. But the greatest wonder of all was a nightingale living among the trees. Its song was so pure and beautiful that people traveled from distant lands just to hear it sing. One day, news of the nightingale finally reached the king. He was furious. "How is it possible," he shouted, "that such a treasure lives in my garden and no one told me about it?" The minister had no answer. He knew nothing of the nightingale either. The gardener was summoned at once. "There is a famous nightingale in the palace garden," the king said. "Why was I not informed?" The gardener bowed and begged forgiveness, but he too did not know where the bird was. They searched everywhere, but the nightingale could not be found. At last, the king grew even angrier. "This must be a lie," said the minister. But the king roared, "No! A trusted source told me. Find the nightingale immediately, or you will all be punished." A young kitchen maid then stepped forward and said gently, "You will not find the nightingale in the palace hall. If you wish, I can lead you to where it lives." Filled with hope, they followed her into a nearby grove. Standing among the trees, the girl called softly, "Little nightingale." At once, the bird appeared on a branch. The girl said, "Our king wishes to see you and hear your song. If you do not come, we will all be punished." The nightingale agreed. As it sang along the way, everyone listened in silence until they reached the palace. Before the king, the nightingale began to sing. Its voice was so beautiful that tears streamed down the king's face and joy filled his heart. Moved deeply, the king said, "Ask me for anything you desire." The nightingale replied, "The greatest reward for me is to bring you happiness." From that day on, the nightingale became the jewel of the palace. It sang daily in the royal garden, and people gathered outside the palace walls just to listen. One day, a chest of gifts arrived at the palace. Inside was a mechanical nightingale decorated with precious jewels and shining stones. It was made of glass, and when its key was turned, it sang exactly like the real bird. Over time, the king paid more attention to the mechanical nightingale. Feeling forgotten, the real nightingale quietly flew away. One day, the mechanical bird broke. Its song fell silent. Only then did the king realize that the true nightingale was gone and that he had treated it unjustly. Filled with regret, the king fell ill and was confined to his bed. His condition worsened day by day, and the people feared he would not recover. News of the king's illness and plans to appoint a new ruler reached the real nightingale. Hearing that the king truly regretted his actions, the nightingale decided to help. That very night, it flew to the king's window and began to sing. Hearing the familiar voice, the king slowly regained his strength. By morning, he rose from his bed, healed. The king understood then that it was the nightingale's true song that had saved him. From that day forward, he promised to cherish the nightingale always, and the nightingale promised to return from time to time to sing for him again. The palace still stood tall, but the king had changed. He had learned that no jewel, no machine could replace what is real. True beauty cannot be copied. True value cannot be replaced. What is alive, sincere, and genuine is always worth more than gold or imitation.